Hello and welcome to another video. Today's video is all about breeding your rabbits. We're coming up to Easter shortly, and with rabbits having a 31-day pregnancy, if I want some babies in time, it is time to breed them now. So I'm going to be breeding all three of my does. We've got Bun Bun up here, who is our standard Rex. We've got Mrs. Hopkins here, who is our show Californian. And then we have Astrid on the bottom, who is a new Californian, which means she's half Californian, half New Zealand white, and they're just called New Callies. So just before I get to showing you the actual breeding, I'll leave the camera up here so you can see these lovely little babies while I'm talking. There's a few things you want to make sure. You want to make sure your doe and your buck are at least 5 to 6 months of age. 6 months especially if they are a larger breed, like some of the ones we do use for meat rabbits. You never want to put the buck into the doe's cage, especially when they've got kids. Does are very territorial. They will attack your buck. They can even castrate them. So we always take our doe to our buck's hutch, or at the moment he's in a run, so they'll be going to the run. The final thing I'll say before we get into this is you want to try and have 2 to 3 matings with your buck. Now it's very obvious, and you'll see this when I put the doe in there. When he's had a successful mating, he will kind of freeze up and fall off the side of your doe. It is called a fall off, and I try and get 3. Another thing I'm going to mention, Mrs. Hopkins here was bred a couple of months ago, the same time as Bun Bun above her. But she didn't give us any kits from her last breeding, so I'm going to make sure we definitely get 3 with her this time. Seen in a couple of other videos, this is our buck, George. He is also a New Callie, so a New Zealand cross with a Californian. He's just got this massive run because we ran out of space, but he's quite happy. It's all weatherproof and we slide this over usually. The only thing I need to do in here before I throw a doe in with him is close the door to his little sleeping box so she can't trap herself in a corner. And then I'll get you guys set up on a tripod and I'll bring a doe over and talk you through what's happening. Alright, so I've got you set up on a tripod now. Hopefully you can still hear me while I'm walking around a little bit. I've moved his hay feeder out the way and just closed off his sleeping box. He's wondering what's going on. I'm going to grab a doe, throw her in, and then tell you what's happening as it happens. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so we've got our first doe here. Let me just pop her in. There you go, George. Look behind you, mate. And you can see instantly there we got a fall off. This doe has been bred 3 times before, so she knows how to lift for the male properly. You can see she's kind of sat herself in a corner there, which is why he's stomping. He wants her to move a little bit so he can get back up on her. If she doesn't, I will go in and help shift her for him. But sometimes they just need a couple of minutes. And you can see the buck is licking her face and sniffing her, trying to encourage her to move. Right, I'm just going to step in and give him a hand to move her here. And he's back up. Good lad. She isn't lifting for him at the minute, which is why he's not had a fall off yet. They need to lift their back ends to let the male breed. Wrong end, mate. It can take a little while. Honestly, you just have to be patient. If the doe is sitting in a corner like she was, you can help move her along that way. Otherwise, you just have to wait for them to get it done. It takes two to tango, unfortunately. Let's see if we get a fall off on this one. I hope I hit the camera in time. There we go, we've got a good fall off there. And I don't know if you can hear it, but my doe is now growling. Now this doe, I'm only going to do 2 with because she does breed very well. And the fall offs are almost 100% successful. Now she's growling, she's done with him, she wants no more, she won't let him breed again. So I'm going to pull her out and I'm going to grab the second one. Alright, so I've got the second doe here. Now this doe is Astrid. She is the new Californian. This is her first breeding with us. She's only about 7-8 months old. So let's see how he does. Here we go. In. So the male's on, but she isn't lifting for him yet. At the minute, she just wants to explore. We'll let her realise what's going on, and hopefully she will lift in a minute. Are you tired already, George? Yeah, this one's bigger, huh? It's a big girl. You can't get her that way, mate. Now if your doe continually refuses to lift for the male and she's tame and used to handling her, you can go in and hold her steady and lift her back end manually. This doe, however, is not handled much at all. She hates being touched, pet, everything. So that would actually make it more difficult for the buck in this case. So I just have to be patient and let nature do its course. I'll flip this back on if I see her starting to lift, so you're not bored by hours of rabbit humping footage. You can see the buck is really trying. She is slightly lifting, she's moved her back feet a little bit, but not enough for him to successfully mate. We'll give him another few minutes. He is starting to get tired now, so he might need a little break for half an hour and we can try again. Right, so this doe actually just went to attack my buck, so I'm about to jump in there and get hold of her. I'm going to try holding her still first, see if the buck can breed her with me holding her, but like I said, she's not been handled, so she probably won't let me. If she doesn't, I'm going to give the male a break for half an hour and come back to this. Chase her this way. Come on, you. Yeah. I got that. Alright, so she absolutely wasn't having that. With their first breeding, that's quite common with those. What I tend to do is just try them once in the morning. If they completely refuse the buck like that one did, even when restrained, give them 4 or 5 hours and throw them in again. It has started to rain, so I'm going to run inside now and he's going to get a bit of a break before we throw in the third doe. Alright, so it's a little bit later. I've got my third doe out just for her first breeding for the day. This is the one that did not give us any kits on last breeding, so if we're struggling to get her to lift, I am going to restrain her. She does do fairly well with being held to be bred, but but I do want to make sure I get 3 matings with her this time because she missed last time. There she is. You can see he's got hold of the back of her neck there a little bit. He's not biting her, he's just pulling the fur a little bit, and it's just to let the doe know that he is trying to mate her. That's the wrong end, buddy, but she's stuck in a corner, so that I understand. So if they get stuck in corners, I will just chase him out the corner. Come on. So he can do his job. And like I said with the last doe, I'll put them in the first time like this, let them have a go. If it doesn't work, I'll wait 4 or 5 hours. The doe then, her hormones have started kicking off if she has been mated kind of once or twice, and she then tends to be more receptive to the buck later in the day. Some does, it can take a couple of days to get their hormones going. Rabbits do not cycle regularly like human beings do. They are triggered to ovulate by the mating process. So until a male interacts with a doe, she will not go through a cycle where she could get pregnant. And she's just trapped herself in the corner again. I'm going to move her one more time. Oh, hello, Bumble. My little helper. Come on. Bumble. Alright, so he's hopped up a few times now. She's not really showing any willingness to let him mate yet. So I'll pop her back in her hutch, give her a few hours, and bring her back out. Or he's going to have one last go. Come on, Georgie, you can do it. I know these girls are such pains, aren't they? They don't like you. Oh, Bun Bun's pretty good to breed, but these other two, nah. Every time he mounts her properly, she's shifting her bum. So I'm going to pull her out, and I will film tomorrow when I try take 2 of breeding the Callies. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you learned something. Bye bye.